Hey, what's up, everybody? The price of XRP is back above $2.50 as the Ripple lawsuit is over with. Finally, the SEC and Ripple, they decided to get a divorce, and the kids, well, they couldn't be happier. So we got a little bit of a pop here. And we also have the Fed speaking. I think they're almost finished. And basically, the FOMC involving the interest rates, inflation, the economy, recession, tariffs, all that fun stuff there is being discussed. So at the end of the day, we will take it. We will take anything we can at this point. So yeah, this is good. So and it all started. Where did it all start from, guys? I didn't make a video yesterday. I probably should have, and I was eyeballing this thing. Where did it start from? I mean, ever since we came down here, right? We were right in here. We were talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we were saying, look, as soon as we get down here, we want to see 5 waves. We want to see an impulse, or we want to see consolidation, or we want to see a base or something, right? Something that gives us some bullish insights, right? And sure enough, we got this nice wave to the upside. And then that wasn't enough though, because this could have easily came all the way back down to the low, but it didn't. Instead, it created a 3-wave pullback. And you couldn't ask for anything better than that. First of all, you have bullish divergence between this low and this low, right? Then you had this impulse. Then you got the 3-wave pullback. And as soon as we had the 3-wave pullback, that's when they decide to release the lawsuit. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? You have a 3-wave pullback. You're kind of chilling right here. And then boom, Brad Garlinghouse, the lawsuit's over. And that's when you go. So I think the timing of it is actually pretty decent. Because the lawsuit is ammunition, right? You're at war with the bulls and the bears, right? You have a bull and you have a bear, and they're at war with each other, okay? And so you need ammunition to fight the war. And the lawsuit ending is definitely ammunition that has been spent, okay? So we expended our ammunition for the lawsuit. What other ammunition do we have left? Well, we have a lot, because we have obviously the strategic reserve. People already know about it though, but something more of substance will come out of that involving XRP. The big one I'm looking for, the big granddaddy one I'm looking for is, you guys already know, the ETF. All right, so once we get the XRP ETF, then it's going to be pretty insane. So I'm interested, though, to know that, do we get the ETF approval inside of this range, or do we get an XRP ETF approval as the price is already broken out? Or does the price eventually break down and then we get the ETF pushing it back up? I mean, those are real things we have to figure out. I'm of the opinion that we are going to break to the upside. I believe that this is a wave 4 and we're about to enter a wave 5. And not only a wave 5, but also enter price discovery. Because by looking at this wave, we have 1, 2, we have 3, and then we have this flat here for a 4, and now we have this 1, and then this 2, and then potentially this could be the third wave. So 1, 2, 3, and then we go 4, 5, up to about 7, 8, 9, $10. I don't know if it's gonna hit like 10 or $12, but I'm pretty sure we could hit at least, $4 to $6 is a minimum target. But that 7, 8, 9 would be the sweet spot. 10, 11, 12 would be if we're really lucky. and then, $15 to $20 for a major home run. And then obviously that 1618 log scale target of the 1618 log scale, that comes in about $27. And I don't know if I can hit $27. I mean, but that's like a grand slam, But eventually, at some point, we will. But I'm just talking about in this primary wave here. So you can kind of see a little bit something like that going on, right? But now keep in mind, this was already in price discovery. And this took 6 months. This is taking, let's see, when did we top here? December 1st, so January 1st, right? February 1st, March 1st, and soon April 1st. So about 3.5 months. Let's see, 3.5 months. So versus 6 months. So this is basically twice as big. So we don't want it to be that big, right? We don't want it to be that big because we haven't broken out yet. So I would relate it more to like right here, right? So, but you could see this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we had a really big wave 1. This, on the other hand, is a tiny wave 1. So we have a 1, 2, and then this is 3. Then we get 4, then 5. So we're really like we are here. So we got one more big wave coming, hopefully, right? If we take a trend line here from the bottom of this wave and go all the way to the top, and then take that, just for a reference point, because they're in the same degree, right? So there might be a little bit different, the scaling might be different. Obviously it's log scale, but it shouldn't be too much because you're in the same vicinity as you were back here, right? And we are in the same degree. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're getting wave 5. And we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. And the 5th of the 3rd and the 5th of the 5th should be relatively in the same ballpark. So if I take that line and I bring it over here, it's going to probably be too big. But if I did it anyway, I mean, you're looking at freaking almost $37, and I just don't really see that. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more to there. And we might get something pretty crazy. The reason why is because you had a small wave 1 here. A small wave 1 versus this wave 1. Right? So maybe you do get a big extended 5th because the first and the third wave are not too big. Maybe you do get an extended 5th wave. And remember, we don't know. This is history because we do not know how there's not one crypto chart on the planet that we can go and relate to, that we can talk about, that shows a price structure having done a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways over the vast amount of time of 7 years, right? We have Bitcoin. You can see what happened to Bitcoin. Look at this. If I just go to Bitcoin right here, you can see we had the same type of setup back over here, right? We had a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You went sideways, just like what XRP did, and then you broke out into price discovery. So this is what we're waiting for the price of XRP. However, this only took from December 2017 to October of 2020. That's not a lot of time. That's only 1,000 days, basically 1,040 days. Okay, now let's go back to XRP. Now remember, the bigger the base, the higher in space, right? Because you have more long-term sustainability because the price is much more, it has a lot more strength and it's going to have a lot more follow through. And the price has rested. Imagine resting. Imagine you're an Olympic runner or somebody like that. And one guy just did a race and the other guy is just warmed up. Who do you think's going to win? Probably the guy that just warmed up because he has a lot more energy. He didn't just win a whole race, right? So he's been resting. XRP's been resting a lot longer. So yeah, we have this massive base here, right? The rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went sideways. We're right at the verge of breaking out into new all-time highs. But again, this has never been done before on this scale. So so we had 1,050 days. So what is this? Let me see if I get right about there. And then I'm going to go all the way to the point where we broke it. Look at that, guys. That's 2,500 days. So 1,050 versus 2,500. That's more than twice the amount of time. Okay? So we just spent 2,500 days, guys. 2,500 days. All right? And the lawsuit was 1,500 days. Right? So we've been under a lawsuit for the last 1,500 days. So that's important because basically you have this big move up and you're getting away from the scene of the crime. Get away from the scene of the crime. Get away from this. Pretty much this is like, California, and now we're in Florida. All right? So there's a lot of distance here. And that's what you want. Right? Versus something like Solana or something like that, where it basically has no structure. I mean, just look at the difference. This is why I never bought Solana. And maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I should have bought it. I definitely probably should have bought it down here, but it's basically, or not just Solana, but there's many other charts. They don't have the same type of structure, right? Like look at Solana. You just have the bull run, you have the crash, and now you're right there. So there's really not a lot of substance there versus XRP, which did a rise, crash. It came up in a retrace, right? And then it kind of flagged out. Then it dropped down. Then it went sideways. Then it came back up, pulled back a little bit. Then now it's right here. So it has all this additional structure in the chart, right? That's like having built a car and the chassis, right? Imagine having a chassis that is only a third of the way complete. It's not going to be a strong vehicle, right? So that's what XRP is. XRP is the strongest chassis in crypto right now. There's nothing bigger, stronger than it. Even Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin also doesn't have that structure. Basically, it had a big pump, a big crash, and now it's up here, right? Versus XRP, right? It came up, it came back down, it went sideways, and now it's up here. So it's got a lot more sturdiness, right? If you're building a piece of furniture, you want it to be strong. You want it to fit properly, right? So that's what I'm saying, that this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. You're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you get one more wave up. Hopefully we get another wave up. I think we can. And that would just be an extended fifth here. So, but eventually it's going to have to come back down, and it probably will. And then it's going to probably go sideways. And then you can go up to probably 200, 300, 400,000. But you have to have all of that structure. Right? So there's nothing out. I mean, you have Litecoin and you have Monero that have both similar structures. So, there you go. So we don't know exactly how high the price is going to go based off what we just talked about, how big the structure is. But we can use all the other tools like Fibonacci, measured moves, stuff like that. And again, that gets you about $8, $9, $10, pretty much. So the big question is, are we going to get something a lot more extended than that? Well, I really can't say for sure, but the XRP ETF, again, when we were talking about ammunition, so we have the Ripple lawsuit ammunition, and I was hoping that that ammunition could be enough to at least break above the flag, right? So I don't know. I don't know if the timing was perfect with the lawsuit. I wish it could have been a little bit better timing. Maybe like if the price got back up to here and it was kind of going sideways a little bit and it started to break out, and then that's when you release the news, and that could really accelerate the price because now you don't have a lot of overhead resistance. Timing is everything when it comes to news. But remember, Trump tweeted out about an XRP strategic reserve. That's the president of the United States telling the world, hey, we're going to have a strategic reserve of XRP. That's a massive news. But what happened? We had a big pump and we had a big dump. Okay, so what happened when we had Judge Torres, right? That was a big piece of news too. What happened there? XRP is not a security. The news came out, basically the judge ruled in Ripple's favor. We had a big pump, but then guess what happened? We had a big dump. All right. And then what happened with Trump? Again, right here. You can see, where's that at? Okay, yeah, we had a big Trump pump, but then we had a big dump. All right. Now we have this pump right here. This is the lawsuit officially over pump. So my question is, are we going to have another dump, right? Because news is just news, right? I mean, it's not really news because we knew the lawsuit was going to be dropped. Once Trump won, everybody that was priced in back over here, right? As soon as Trump won the election back in November, what was that? November 8th or something. Or November, what is it, 5th or 4th? Somewhere around here. That's when the lawsuit ended because Trump won, right? And now we pretty much knew that the cases were going to be destroyed. So there you go. But now it's officially over here. So it's not really a big deal. So, you know, as much as it was when Trump won, because all of this move right here was basically the price, you know, shooting up, getting priced in ahead of the lawsuit ending. And now it officially ended. So is this a sell the news event, right? You buy the rumor, right? What's the rumor? Okay, Trump won the election. The rumor is that the lawsuit is going to end now because Trump is elected. So then we got the explosion. Now the news comes out that it's officially over. Is this a sell the news event? That's what we have to be a little bit cautious about because we don't know if we're still going to get that fifth wave, because if Bitcoin and recession and stock market and all the tariffs and all the crap that they're trying to funnel down the American people, if all that stuff weighs heavy, then it doesn't matter how bullish the structure is, it could get wrecked, you know? So that's why we have to be cautious in this range, especially when you have a head and shoulders right here. Not only a head and shoulders, but you also have a descending triangle, which is also very bearish. So we need to break above this downward resistance line right here. And I'm just a little bit disappointed that the lawsuit couldn't have brought it up a little bit higher. We really, 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 really want to get above 278. So above these highs right here. So if we could get above these two lines, it's going to change a lot. All right. But I'm a little bit, and again, it's not a surprise that we couldn't break above that despite the lawsuit. But again, we have the FOMC going on. So price is definitely volatile. Let's look at the small time frames here. And if we look at the last little bit here, Yeah, look how it started. You know, we talked about this three-way pullback. Look how beautiful that is. You got a nice impulse and then a three-way pullback. So if you guys watch my channel and video, you know that that's what it's all about, right? So if you caught that and you captured that and you were able to buy the dip, congrats. Because look at that, you got a nice pop. But that pop, now what it did is it created a three-way move. But the three-way move doesn't look completely finished yet. Maybe another little hit to the high. You get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get an A, B, C here, right? Because again, what do we have? We had 3 waves down, right? And now we have 3 waves up. So what comes next? Potentially, we would probably get 3 waves back down, and that would be like a WXY, some type of 3-wave move down, which then you would look for a big move up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of the main idea that I have at the moment. We also have that fractal that BCB has shared. I really like this fractal. So essentially, this is the 80. This is comparing it to ADA, but if we were comparing it to XRP, you can see how we had 3 waves down, right? And then we actually no, we had, let's see here. Okay, so we had 3 waves down, and then we had 3 waves back up, and then we had 3 waves back down. So that's a WXY. So there's a 3-wave move right there. And then what happened is we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up, right? That's a 1, and then we pulled back. That's a 2. And then we consolidated, built a nice strong base, and then we had another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another 1, and that's another 2. So that's what it looks like. We had a nice impulse. We had a 3-way pullback. We had a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then blast off. That's what happened. All right. So if we can compare that to the current price, then it should look something like this here, where you have 3 waves down. There's your 3-wave move, and it's a little bit different, but you could see we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and then we have 3 back down, right? So if you were to do that same kind of thing on this chart, it's different because you have the flat here. You have 3 down, okay, and then we had 1, 2, 3 up. There's 3 up, and then you had 1, 2, 3 down. But the proportions are definitely off a little bit. And then you can see we had a 5-wave move up. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Then you kind of come back down in a 1 and a 2. Kind of consolidate a little bit. Maybe get another 1, 2, and then go off to the races. There you go. So that's kind of how it would look if we were to continue playing along with this fractal, something to that effect. And that would come into a nice like triangle here. You have, let's do another color. There we go. Like a nice triangle right in there. Kind of coil up here, and it can even be 3, 3, 3, 3. Well, I'm not sure if a flat constitutes as a triangle. I know that it would work here, but yeah, I guess you could say A, and then B, and then C, and then D, and then you get E, and then go. Something to that effect. So anyways, or we can get something a little bit more simple. Instead of doing all that, you know, you get up here a little bit, and then maybe just kind of flag out, and then just kind of continue on like that. So because you got to get away from the scene of the crime here, because you just had a big move down, a big move down, and a big move down, right? So those moves send shock waves. They send ripples through the space, right? So you want that volatility to kind of slow down, and you kind of want to just chill out and kind of go flat and get away from this, right? You want to get away from that. And then you can go up, right? It's going to be very hard to just go up here because you have the smack down. You come back up, smack down, come back up, smack down, right? So we don't want that. So the way you you combat that is you gotta get an impulse out, and you gotta just kind of flag out a little bit and just get away from that, and then get going. So, but that could take time though, unless we get a big pop up here, and then we kind of flag out a little bit at the top and then go for it. So it's all about the way the price looks, the structure of how it looks. So, all right, that's pretty much it for XRP. Let's look a little bit zoomed out here. You can see that we pretty much on this time frame, we've officially broken above the downward resistance line. This is a major deal here. Let me see if I get it a little bit better there, as much as conservative as I can. Right, so you can see right there we broken above. So we have 4.5 hours until we can break above that downward resistance line. So can we do it? Right, I want to see the 3-day candle close above that line. That would be a nice thing to see. So if we zoom in here, let's see. Yeah, so there's the line. Look at that. Yeah, we're coming down a little bit here, but yeah, I want to see it get back here. Maybe we could back test it in here. So we had the big pop. Let's see if we can come down here and test it, but we want to stay above. Hopefully we could stay above. Let's see. So today is Wednesday. The close is right here. Right there. So as long as we stay above 240. So if we could close above 240 today, I think that'll be a good thing. Let's see what's going on with the 15-minute chart. So I'm assuming that the Fed is done speaking. And you had a little bit of a pump, but then it came back down in a dump here. So let's see if we can see anything. There we go. Yeah, right away it looks kind of bearish because you have this big move down and then you have a 3-way move up. And then it looks like a trend here. This looks like 5. Okay, that looks like a 1. That looks like a 2. This looks like a 1. And then you had a 3-way pullback for a 2. Right? So this could be in the middle of a third here. Right? And then maybe 4 and then 5. Something like that. But look, that gets us below the line before the daily close. So, what else could it be? Well, I guess you could say that this is an A. No. Okay, so if this is 3 here, this is a 3-way move here. Yeah, but see, it's not 3 up and then down. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have A, B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. I don't really like it a lot. I think we need some time. This is the 1-minute chart, by the way. 1 minute. It's very hard to calculate that because it moves very fast, very irrational. So I'm not confident in that. But let's see. Let's go to the daily chart. And where's the line on the daily? I know you had that big move. Yeah, so the daily looks better, I think. Let me just put that right there. It looks pretty clean. There we go. So I want to zoom out. So there you go. So as long as this candle can close above that downward resistance line, that's a goal. That would be a nice goal to achieve, right? Because we're already going to break above this line right here. Oh, come on. Right here at 240. 238. So we broke above that, and we want to close above that as well. So, and let's see that. area would be, if I can drag it across, you can see how important this line is here. Somewhat. You got the bottoms here, you got that in there, a little bit there. So it's pretty significant where this line is. The next line would be, let me see if I could drag it across, right here. That's perfect. You can see right there, a little bit there, definitely there. So that's the area. That comes in at 262. So we're kind of stuck in this middle boundary here, right? You got the lower boundary, and then you have the upper boundary, and you're kind of stuck in the middle boundary, right? But the good thing is the trend is, or this current wave is flagging out to the downside, and it's oscillating back and forth and back and forth. You have overlapping waves to the downside. That's channeling. You're creating a channel. And usually when you channel down, you break up. So if I put this right there, there you go. So we're kind of flagging out, if you will. And the 8-day, look at the 8-day, looks a lot better. Just kind of looking at the different time frames, just, you know, because each time frame gives you a different kind of look and a different feeling, you know. So the 4-day looks really good. I think the 4-day looks pretty decent here. I can even close it a little bit more here. Okay, and then we get rid of that line. Maybe adjust it a little bit. Yeah, the 4-day looks, I like the way it looks. So there we go. That's pretty much it for XRP. What we want to see is the price continue. We're breaking out, right? So we want to see it continue pushing up, and then maybe flag out, and then hopefully go. I mean, so, you know, we're right there. And again, this is also really bullish when you're coming down and down and down and down and down, and then you flip green, red, green, red, green, red, green, you know what I mean? So you're flipping. That tells me that the price doesn't want to go in the direction of where it was currently going. In this case, it was coming down. So that's good. And then you also have like a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You got this sideways in here. So then you want that to push further. And then you can also look at it kind of like that as a descending triangle. So it looks like it's pretty strong. I mean, look at it looks like it's establishing a very strong floor at $2. So there you go. All right, let's keep looking here. ADA. See, ADA just doesn't look that good because of this move here. That just really screwed it up. I mean, that pump and dump really just kind of screwed up the chart, because it still looks beautiful though, because you have this beautiful impulse and you have this really nice three-way pullback, right? And then as you're going down, 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 look what you did. You flip red, green, red, green, red, green. But then you have this stupid little pop that happened here. But anyways, if we look at this chart, see, now that looks a lot better. Even though it has a big nasty wick there, it's okay. You know, you have this three-way pullback and you're building a base, a nice tight base, and you're flipping red, green, red, green. That's really good. So I think we have the potential to get back to this area up here around, what is that, $1? Yeah. So the 4-day chart, I mean, you can even say like, okay, 3 down, you got 3 up, you got 3 back down. You're kind of just building a base in here. You want to get back going. But since you see, we had a nice base and we could break out, but you have this thing here in the middle right? So now you kind of have to go sideways a little bit more to get away from the scene of the crime, right? This is a big move down, big move down, big move down, right? So you have this big move here, and it kind of messed up the structure a little bit. So now what you have to do is kind of get away from that. You want to get away from it and then go up. That's not really much going on here. I like the shape of XLM on, I think it was the 4-day. Yeah, the 4-day looks good. Look at that 3-wave pullback. Just a nice looking, kind of like a falling wedge, if you will. And I don't know if we have any sequential on. Oh yeah, and then we had a 5-day 9 buy. I mean, that's pretty nice. So you have, those are the red dots. So if we could break above those red dots, about 30 cents, we can activate it. But it would probably be better if we kind of just went sideways a little bit more here and then break it a little bit later, right? So, dog. I traded a little bit of dog here. Okay, so I saw this 3-way pullback here on dog, and I bought a little bit right there, right in there. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Definitely very risky, but it looks pretty beat up, pretty oversold. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks pretty oversold, and but I like it because if we go on a big run, we officially have a 3-way move down. So you have an impulse with a 3-way move down, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and you're oversold, and it's equal to this wave here, and you took the low for liquidity. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you would think that you would get a retrace, at least a retrace. So I think that could be on the horizon, but we might have to spend some time down here, maybe even hit the low again, maybe another low before, so it's a little bit, you need a little bit more time. XLR looks, I like the way this came up, and then it came it drizzled down, all the way back to the low, making a higher low, right? So you want this to come up and make this 3-way move, and then maybe 3 back down, and then go up in 5. Unless this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still have to go down for 5. I don't know. We'll see soon. But it kind of looks to me like you already have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a 3-way pullback. We're flagging out for a 4. Let's get 5. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come up to the top here, and then get a 3-way pullback, and then go. That's what I would look for. If I get that right there, if I get the pop and then the 3, that would be a good situation. Theta. Oh, look at Theta. It's breaking above the red dots here on the 6 hour. Doesn't really mean anything, but yeah, I'm liking Theta, but I just don't really like the shape of this. Like, it's kind of, it's kind of just kind of doing this. I'm just like, what is that? Very difficult to read, because I see 5 here, I see 3 down, I see 3 up, and I see 3 back down. Okay, so that's 3 down. All right, maybe this is 3 up, and then maybe we get 5 down or 3 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. and it becomes a 1, A, B, C for a 2. I mean, maybe something like that. Or if it's going to keep pumping, then maybe it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it kind of just, you know, climbs its way back up here, and then we kind of flag out, you know. It's challenging where we are here. But I like this wick. I like this wick down here. It looks good. It looks good for a potential bottom. And the bigger that we can get this structure, the better. Because then it's not going to seem like a fourth wave anymore. It's going to seem like a real reversal. Because I think we have one. 1, 2. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. I mean, we have enough waves. So, but the real reason Theta is so good, the real reason I like it so much, is because of this 3-wave move here. We have a 3-wave pullback. It looks very, very nice. So we have 3 waves up and we have 3 waves down. But you could also make the case that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5th ended here. Not here, it ended here, right? So wave 5 ended here, and then you have A, B, C. That's a flat. A, B, C. That's a 3-wave move to the upside. It's a flat, right? It's an expanded flat. So you have 3 waves up, and then you get 3 waves down. 3 waves down. And that now is much more proportional than the other way we had it, right? So that could be W. This could be X, or even AB. Hopefully, no, hopefully it's AB. I'd rather it be A, B, and then you know what that means. You would get 5 waves up, right? So you have 3 waves up, you have 3 waves down. Now you would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, right? And that becomes A, B, C. A, B, C. So A, B, and then C. So then you would have 5, or you could say A, and then this would be B, and then that means you would have to come down for C and then go up later on. But by doing so, you have a lot more structure up, you have a lot more structure down, you have a lot more structure sideways, because you want the base, you want the range, because that's what we are. We're in a range. You want the range to be strong, right? So there's your range right there. So there's a lot of empty space in that range, is it not? Right? So there's your sort of middle area right there. So if that's 3 up, that's 3 down, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, now you're filling in some of that space, right? And then you want to come back down and fill it a little bit more and go sideways, fill it up a little bit more, right? Fill in the gaps, right? And then over time, now you built a structure similar to that of Bitcoin back in 2019, 2020, and also XRP, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. So that's kind of the best medicine for it. I don't know if it's real likely if we can break out into price discovery, at least not right now. I would have to see a lot. I would have to see evidence of it sustaining above $9, $10. But that'll be it for another day. So, what else is going on here? hbar. See, this little stupid move here kind of screwed it up. I wish it was not there, because it kind of made it weird, you know? I wish much rather it have not done that. It would have looked like a nice little base in here. But you know what? I could make the argument to say, you know, that kind of reminds me of what Bitcoin did back over here. Let me see if I can find it. So, but first, let me show you. Yeah, well, I'll just do this. So back over here, let's go to the 12-hour chart. Right here, you can see See how we move down? We're kind of creeping. But look, we had this big pump and the big dump. And then we kind of creep, and then we went on. Right? So we had this little move like that. And it looked like a head and shoulders. Right? So that could be, maybe something like what we're seeing now. Right? How you're creeping. You have the little pump, right? There, you see what I'm going with that? There you go. And then you kind of creep down a little bit more. Eventually you have like a 1-2, and then you kind of start to go up. And you're kind of slanted down, just like what Bitcoin did. So maybe we could see something potentially like that. I mean, it's holding the floor nicely in here. I'm kind of flipping back and forth on hbar. I mean, sometimes I'm bearish, sometimes I'm bullish. It's just, we need to get going here. We need to build this a little bit more and then start to make a retrace. But the problem is now that as we go up, now we're faced with this move up. This move down, all the retrace levels in this wave, because each wave has its own levels. Right? So since we went down, right, we would have never had this dump if we didn't have the pump, right? So we had the pump and then the dump, right? We would have, so since that happened, now as we go back up, if we go back up, we have to get through these levels. Versus if that was never here to begin with, you would just have this nice floor that you can build off of. So, Matic looks like it's doing its job pretty well, I think. It's flat. It looks like it's perfectly flat in here. It's consolidating. It's doing what it needs to do. I think eventually we could see a move up. So, especially because we've been going down, down and down and down and down and down and down and down, right? So there's no retrace yet. We need a retrace. We don't have one. So that's what we're waiting for. And I think once we get it, it's going to be very nice. So, Link, nothing really there. Too much. Algo. Kind of got a double bottom here. I mean, that's quite a ways down. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, you got a crashing structure there. And you got a double bottom. So, I mean, I think, like I've been saying last week too, I think this could be a good spot here for a potential local bottoming process, or at least some kind of retrace, some kind of bounce, right? Because the other argument is that this is 1, 2, 3, this is 4, and we still have to go down for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that fifth wave is going to actually take us all the way back down to this base. So here's your base down in here, right? That's why we create bases in the first place. So that once we break out, great. But once we have to come back down, once disaster strikes, you're going to want an insurance policy. So my question to you is, who has the biggest insurance policy? Who has the biggest life insurance policy? That's XRP, because it has the biggest base. So if it does decide to break out eventually, and it does decide to come back down, well, guess what? XRP had built a base that was massive in size. So it can sustain it as it comes back down. So we might have a little bit more downside to come for the price of algo. So I think that's pretty much it here. I'm going to wrap it here. Bitcoin dominance. Theta fuel. Also, Theta fuel looks really good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Theta fuel. I want to see a little bit of a base. I want to see a retrace. I think it's going to happen soon. AVAX, same thing. And then also Bitcoin, you have the divergence, right? You got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want to see a little bit of a bigger base down here, but then I want to see it kind of come up and make a retrace. So I think we'll get that pretty soon. So we'll see how it plays out. But anyways, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you can hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.